Hello. This is Antya from Byte Shuffle. Thank you for always watching my videos. Here's a guide on using the sneak show approach with the Painter deck. I'll go over strategies for gameplay as well as insights into sideboarding. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. It's a bit weak, but since it has card draw, lands, and disruption, I'll keep it. I'll lock them down with Vexing Bauble. I'll go searching for a land. Didn't find it, so I'll shuffle. I'll keep the card on top with the Surveil effect. I'll go searching for a land. I'll stack Veil of Summer, Swamp, and Polluted Delta in that order, then draw. Since I have Veil of Summer and Duress in hand, I'll search for a Bayou. I'll use Hand Disruption to check ahead. I took Brainstorm out of their hand, since Archon of Cruelty will come out on their next turn. I have 3 turns left. I'll go searching for a tutor. I stacked Brainstorm on top, followed by Dark Ritual. Since my opponent has Ponder, I'm hoping I can turn Veil of Summer into a cantrip if I'm lucky. I'll use Veil of Summer to neutralize Archon of Cruelty's effect. I'm going all in. From here. First, I'll cast Past in Flames followed by Hand Disruption to ensure it's safe to crack Vexing Bauble. I took Sneak Attack out of their hand. I'll put all my efforts into finding a tutor. I stacked Polluted Delta on top, followed by Dark Ritual. Since it's safe, I'll convert Vexing Bauble into a draw. I'll go looking for a tutor. I stacked Thoughtseize on top, followed by Cabal Ritual. I'll go looking for a tutor. Didn't find it, so I'll shuffle. I'll go looking for a tutor. I stacked Veil of Summer, Swamp, and Ad Nauseam in that order, then drew. I'll go looking for a tutor. With the storm count high enough, I'll cast Tendrils of Agony. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list we used. First, the conclusion. I will explain it step by step. As many of you may already know, let's start by briefly reviewing how the Sneak Show strategy works. Using cards like Show and Tell and Sneak Attack to cheat creatures like Imrakal, the Aeon's Torn, or Traxa, Grand Unifier onto the battlefield. Or use Show and Tell to put Omniscience onto the battlefield, allowing you to cast all your spells for free and secure victory. Against the latter strategy, you can neutralize your opponent's Show and Tell by putting Vexing Bauble onto the battlefield. As I mentioned in the deck explanation video, against decks running Imrakal, the Aeon's Torn, the Painter combo doesn't work. Therefore, this time I'll build the game plan without relying on the Painter board. Now, let's get into the main topic. In the Sneak Show matchup, these are the cards relevant to Ad Nauseam Tendrils. First, there are various counterspells such as Spell Pierce, Force of Will, Force of Negation, and Consign to Memory. Next is Veil of Summer. While it's less commonly included these days, some players still choose to run it. In response to these, I'll include additional Hand Disruption. To balance the numbers, it's a good idea to remove Chrome Mox if you're on the play. On the other hand, if you're on the draw, you might want to keep Chrome Mox for extra tempo in the early turns. I think it's better to remove Cabal Ritual and add Chrome Mox instead. Next are graveyard hate cards like Surgical Extraction, Grafdigger's Cage, and Fairy Macabre. To either ignore the opponent's graveyard hate cards, and since there's no life exchange with the opponent, aiming for the Ad Nauseam route is the best approach. Our strategy is to fire off multiple Hand Disruption spells early on, slowing the opponent down, and then going all in when an opportunity arises. Even if the Ad Nauseam flips are unfavorable and you can't secure victory on that turn, you can think of this card as a tool to recover the resources you've spent from your hand, which might make it easier to approach. As long as you recover your hand, you can fire off multiple Hand Disruption spells on the combo turn, pass the turn, and set up to go off again on the following turn. It's almost like achieving a pseudo-victory. Next, let's talk about the One Ring. When this card enters the battlefield, your opponent gains protection from everything. Afterward, they draw a total of 3 cards. From our perspective, it's equivalent to taking a time walk against us while also letting them cast Ancestral Recall. If you see it, you'll need to deal with it using hand disruption. Even if I go down to 6 cards, there's a chance for a stronger hand, so I'll mulligan. I'll put Infernal Tutor on the bottom. I'll assess the position relative to my opponent. I took Ponder out of their hand. I'm 1 mana short of going all in, so I'll cast Hand Disruption to fill the graveyard. I took Consign to Memory out of their hand. I sent the card to the graveyard with the Surveil effect. I'm going all in. From here, I'll generate the mana needed for the combo. As for when to stop flipping cards with Ad Nauseam, in the case of Infernal Tutor, if you built up enough Storm, reaching 6 mana and achieving Hellbent will secure the win. I'll accelerate my mana while also building up the Storm count. I'll play around Consign to Memory. With the Storm count high enough, I'll cast Tendrils of Agony. Thank you for watching up to this point. I apologize for the frequent play mistakes. I hope to improve at MTG together with everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. See you in the next one. This has been Antya.